today. We ask for courage, sharp and keen, not golden spoils, but dreams unseen. Like smoke we drift, like flames we strike. United hands will shake the night. We offer purpose, skill and creed, a path for those who dare to lead. The weak will crave the strength we share. The shadow smokers, seed we bear. Hear the shadow smokers call. Stand reverse and stand tall. Beyond the fear, beyond the wall. See your face within a frown. We open gates to let you grow. New book you make on fire glow. Forget the chains of yesterday. Your future starts here today. In the shadows, me and I.
7 years in the cold. They thought the shadows would consume us, but shadows are where we hunt. Started with a dream, ended with a knife in the back. The dust has finally settled, now we seeing through the cracks. The warlords wanted crowns, the false prophet played pretend. The heavy hitter left, brought the empire to an end. Yeah, they walked out the door, left the project and give up. Thought the fire would die, but look at what we got. One flight across the sea, now the kings know the name. While the fraud plays his games, hiding under new frames. Zombies in the chat, yeah, we clearing out the dead. The clock is ticking down, mark the words that I said. No more silence, no more fakes in the room. We built this castle on the edge of the dome. This is the Legion. We rise from the ash. You can steal the credit, but you can't buy the class. Shadow smokers moving, yeah, the new blood is here. We survived the betrayal, we survived the fear from the little guy shop through the Taipei streets. We the ones standing when the enemy retreats. Legion. The snake tried to fake it, got exposed in the light. Two brothers plotting in the dead of the night. The strongest support crumbled, yeah, that could hit deep. But Val kept the history while the traitors were asleep. Now Rick and Joey standing guard at the gate. Martin and the boys is keep out the fakes. We paid for the anthem, yeah, we paid every due. Integrity is something that they never know. They said we were finished. They thought that the Legion was broken, but you can't kill a ghost and you can't stop the storm. Are you active or are you dead? Put the traitors in check, put the stamp on the box, put the chain on the neck. No more OG.
Hey guys, Tony Soy Assassin. Welcome to tonight's Smokers Panel Live. So, running a little late today. Reason being, the two things I want to do today is all kind of freak out. All right, number one, the coffee that I want to get from this place called Blank Street. I had it in the fridge. I was like, oh, I'm gonna drink it tonight, and it turned out to be sickly sweet, sickly sweet. So, because it was sickly sweet, I made another coffee so I can dilute it with. Okay. And I was looking for cigar to smoke, and I realized one of my, I think they could call this Night Commander or something like that, was in this bag. Obviously, no extra humidity, but it's moldy. It's moldy. So that's what tells you, even with no humidity, like very low amount of humidity, even with, on its separate bag, even though it's not being introduced to any higher temperature than the rest of the cigar, it could still mold. So, if you worry about, oh, I don't have enough humidity, it's too dry. No, it will mold. Okay, it will mold. Good thing is that it's in its own bag, so it's contained, and I can just throw away the bag. Which means I had to figure out what I'm gonna smoke tomorrow. That's a problem. I thought I have another one, and I might have to look at it a little tonight. But for now, it is what it is. This is what I don't have now. This I don't have now. All right. So that's in the trash. Okay. So instead of that, I picked out Plasencia Hexto or Sixto. I'm sorry. To smoke tonight. Okay. Yeah. Why? Because it was right next to it. So since it's right next to it, let's smoke it. Let's smoke that cigar. Okay. And we can talk about today's topic. Val has said that he's got to be a little late to the stream today, so we can save the best for last. We'll see. Let me light up the cigar first. Now, like before, I have trouble cutting the cigar because like it's really close. It's really close. Now I have this big cutter. It should be a lot easier. Oh yes. Okay. All right. Okay. It's still lifted because well, it's the first level of shoulder. It should be okay actually. It's one of the two caps. I think it'll be okay. I just gotta take that off. I think it'll be okay. All right. Okay. It's not lifting. And let's let it out with this. But first, I gotta get rid of this tape. You see, like I tell people, the easy way to light this is just light it on there and just slide it off. But you gotta be very careful about the tape because they tape it up instead of like just simple glue. So if you burn the tape, you will get a stink. So make sure you lift the tape enough so it doesn't burn. Let me get there. I will get there. I will get there. And if you just join us, let me know why you're smoking tonight. Okay. All right. I lift it up. And another thing to watch out for, usually Plasencia have a footband. I'm pretty sure there's one under it. There is. So you gotta lift that up too. Come on. Technical difficulty. All right, so I got off. And now, only now, you can lift this to the front again. All right, now it's at the front with the thing. And what you gotta do is you gotta lift this up while breathing the heat and the flame in there so you can get the cedar flavor. You can point it out just a little bit so the cedar burns first. Like that. And that's how you let it out with cedar without burning your hand. Okay? And once you get your cedar, slide it off. Look at that. It's that easy. It's that easy. There's no more like, oh, I'm gonna lift this up and I gotta wait. I gotta make sure there's fire in here. All right, I gotta make sure. Oh, it's burning my hand. Oh. No more of that. No more of that. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. So welcome to the show where we demystify stuff for you. Well, I hope we did. Say hi if you're here. All right, because I don't believe the number count. That number count is never accurate, like ever. I just need to know everybody's chat works. Okay. And we start talking about today's topic. It's like magic. Yes, it is like magic. It's like magic. All right. Now we add a little bit of coffee in here. Stir, stir, stir. Now maybe it's not as sweet. Nope, it's still just as sweet. We'll continue drinking down, add more, drink it down, add more, and that's the only way. All right, so let's talk about this. A while back, and I think it's a long while, okay? And this is just an example. It's not absolute. Let me get the name. A while back, I commented on a YouTube video that Tim Swanson did, talking about packaging and decoration and banding and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, the cigar is all about presentation. If the presentation is good, I will buy it. You know, that's a lot of people would shop based on presentation. And that was a while ago. And then all of a sudden, this person named Ernest Nightingale responded to say, speak for yourself. If the cigar is not about presentation, the cigar is good, then and you don't need presentation. And I was like, okay, but isn't that what I did? I speak for myself. He said, speak for yourself. If a cigar is fantastic, then the presentation doesn't matter much to me at all. Okay, but like, why do you have to jump on my comment where I speak for myself to tell me to speak for myself? I didn't say for everybody. I speak for myself. Right? So I don't understand that. I don't understand the whole meaning of that. Of why jump on my comment to say that, which is fine. And I said, you basically proved my point, right? Like, if the cigar is fantastic, the presentation don't matter. But if the cigar isn't, then the presentation matters. The thing about presentation is, if the presentation is good, the cigar can get you to try, even if it's bad. A good presentation can sell, even if the product itself is bad. Like, how many times did you guys go buy a cigar that looks really, really good and turn out to be a shitty cigar? Right? And a lot of time we will buy a cigar simply just what it stands for. Basically, like, if you like Tyson, you wouldn't care if that cigar tastes like Tyson's armpit. You will care if that cigar represents Tyson. So you will buy a Tyson cigar based on presentation. But if that cigar looks like Tyson's armpit and don't have any presentation whatsoever, you will probably never try it. You'll probably never spend money on a cigar. So if you will never do that, that proves my point. Presentation is everything. Presentation can get you to buy a good cigar. Presentation can get you to buy a bad cigar. But the other way around, if the cigar looks like Freddy Krueger's face, it better taste good. Because if it doesn't, it'll never sell. It will never sell. So I am speaking for myself. In fact, I speak for myself every single day, I believe. I believe. I speak for myself every time I'm here too. I speak for myself. So I just want to say that. You know, when you watch my show, you're hearing my opinion. And my opinion basically does that is my opinion. If you value my opinion, take it into effect, take it into consideration. It might help you in your cigar journey. It might help you cigar selection. It might help you in cigar knowledge. Maybe, maybe not. If you don't, you don't. I mean, that's just what basically a talk show is, right? It's opinion. So that's pretty much what it is. Now, at the same time, I do critique other people saying stuff. I do. Like last night, I was talking with the Legion members, and we talked about Perdomo saying that, you know, having a new cigar or new brand every 3 to 6 months is bullshit. And I thought about that. It's like, what does that mean? What does that mean? He said, we've been doing this for 34 years, and you know, this is just impossible. There's only so many combinations. Yes, there is only so many combinations. There's only so many tobaccos. Yes, there's only so many tobaccos, but I don't think there is one single company. I don't think there's one single company can say we have tried every single combination and released every single combinations out there. I don't think anybody can say that. Now, if nobody can say that, that means a company can literally come up with new cigar literally every day, so long as they can produce it. So long as they can produce it. Okay? Literally, I can say, I'm gonna have a Dominican Puro, right? And then the wrapper is like tobacco A, and then the binder is tobacco B, and then the filler is tobacco C. And tomorrow, after everybody start making that, I'm gonna say, yeah, now I'm gonna put B first, A second, C third. And everybody start making that. And the third day, I can say, now I'm gonna put C first, and then A second, and B third. And I can keep doing that until I'm done releasing that combination. That's not bullshit. I think that's just the way it is. I mean, if nobody can say that they have tried every single finite combination and use every single tobaccos out there, then there's got to be a company that is going to use that kind of combinations that has previously existed in a different vibe. Now, the example I used yesterday talking with the Legion members are you can have the same recipe from 2 different Chinese restaurants, and both restaurants will have a different Chinese fried rice. Right? It's still rice, eggs, scallion, and whatever choice of meat that you have. It's gonna taste different. It's gonna taste different. How much salt, how much MSG, how much soy sauce, how long in the wok, it's gotta be different. So I think Perdomo misspoke there. Now Perdomo don't have a lot of product. Perdomo don't have a lot of product. But to bash other people for having a lot of product, I don't know. All right. Um, just because you can produce it doesn't mean others cannot. And of course, I'm speaking for myself. I know for sure that if you try and if you have the capacity to release and fill a short runs of 500 boxes at a time, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? No, not everybody wants you generate limited edition cigars. Some people want to generate cigars that are very simply packaged. All right. Some people want to generate cigars that are not as embellished. They just want plain wood box printed and that. I mean, if you tell me that, for example, Placencia, which literally makes cigar for other brands, cannot come out with a new brand or new stuff every few months, I wouldn't believe you. I would not believe it. Hey, Tiberius, I would not believe it. Like literally, when a cigar company is running every day, especially if you're farming, you are producing company, right? Your Placencia, your Oliva, you're the one that produce tobacco. One of your job is to come up with something new. One of your job is to figure out blends. One of your job is to figure out how to make tobacco taste different, and that combination. Because people are going to you to find out whether or not they can release a new cigar and what you got. And a lot of times they sell a predetermined blend. Hey, we have this blend. No one's using it. Would you like to use it? We have that blend. That's the thing. You think that they can come out one idea every 3 months, 4 months? No, they will definitely come out one idea every time. In fact, I'm like, we came out with the ITS blend in 1 week. So you can do that. I don't know, Podomo. It's not. I'm not saying anything against you, but if you say that if somebody have the job to create a new blend, new uh, taste or new combination within 3 months, then they have a problem. Like basically, you have someone that wasn't working. Because I think that if you try, can you come up with 4 blends that you're happy with per year? Yes. Because if you can't, if you can't, then nobody can start a new brand. Because when you got to start a new brand, you need a core line. Your core line is at least 3 different ones, right? So you're saying that you cannot come out with a new blend per 3 months. That means 3 blend will take me a year just to determine the most basic blend for my brand. It'll take me a year. So let's not even talk about other stuff. I would say, like I said last night, he is wrong just on mathematics alone. There are enough variety of tobacco percentage that tobacco used in a cigar, and every cigar has 4 to 7 type in it. Yeah, yeah. Again, there is finite, and and then here's the he might have something to it. Like not every combination tastes fine. Some combination tastes like I said, Mike Tyson's armpit, but it's not all, right? I think it's hard to find a cigar that tastes good. How about that, right? So you're gonna have something that works, something that doesn't work, and then the industry already figured out majority of what works and majority of what doesn't work, right? But like if you're gonna get in the cigar industry, you gotta have somewhat of a taste bud. You gotta have somewhat of I've smoked enough, right? Podomo knows plenty about bad blends. I will say it. I want this. I want the smoke. Right? So to say that you can, it's impossible. Like I mean, just look at Guy Fieri's like from Espinosa knuckle sandwich. I think even though there are some knuckle sandwiches I did not like, they have one knuckle sandwich every year aside from the special edition, like, chef special, whatever. So that's 2 blend per year. 2 blend per year. And then they started to deal with their cores and all that stuff. And they came out the core in a year. Well, you tell me that Guy Fieri worked with the guy for like 3-4 years just to figure out his core? Get out of here. Get out of here. All right? And you think Conor McGregor is gonna spend years and years and years just to release his like, no. Now I'm telling you, I'm telling you this, okay? If anybody bring $1 million, walk into a cigar factory, said, bring me 3 blends within the next 3 months, I guarantee you'll get it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You bring $1 million, walk into any of the cigar producing company, Plasencia, AJ Fernandez, any of those, and say, hey, I got $1 million. I want to make into 3 blends. Give me 3 unique blends within 3 months. This money's yours to produce my core line. I guarantee they'll have it. So just say that you can't do that is bullshit. I don't know about that. Money makes the world turn. Money makes the world turn, and it will happen, right? They might give you the safest blend, right? They might give you the safest blend, and some blend that's sitting over there that nobody want to advertise or produce. Yeah, they might. It doesn't mean it's impossible, right? You can get that 3 blend and immediately convert it to a certain degree so that it's not like other cigars that you smoke. How long does that take? A week, 2, 3? I think they misspoke. I think that is like the worst opinions about that at all. I mean, I know that cigar industry probably don't like the amount of competition they have, but if that's the case, don't portray it like cigar industry is a big family. Everybody help each other out. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't have both ways. You cannot have both ways. We're like, oh, other brands are bullshit. And then so we are the big family. Right? On the front, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you for so long. Your cigar is great. The other side trying to flip it over and go, yeah, that's bullshit. Come on, 3-4 cigars a year? That's bullshit. You can't have both sides. You cannot do that. And obviously, I'm speaking for myself, right? That's what I feel. I feel everybody, if they try enough money, enough planning, enough knowledge, you can come up with 100 blends if you wanted to. Now, I'm not saying that all 100 blends are gotta be a hit, but if you came up with 100 blend and 10 of them is a hit, good job. Good job, right? If you came out with 100 blends and one of them is a big hit, not bad. Not bad. Isn't that just what this is about? It's like when you come out with food, when you are a restaurant, your job is to develop amazing food, right? If you're a French restaurant, your thing is to find food, new menu every season, right? You guys been to Michelin restaurants? They're seasonal menu, right? Your job is to develop seasonal menus. Imagine they say, hey, you cannot come out with like 20 dishes a year. That's bullshit. No, I think if you can't, that just tells me that you're not that knowledgeable. Because if you are knowledgeable, you will know how to do it, right? Another example, I saw a post online asking about how turkey tastes like. An Asian person asking, hey, I always wonder about turkey. How is turkey? Everybody want to eat turkey. How is turkey? And then more than half the response was, That thing's dry. It tastes like shit. That thing is dry. It tastes like shit. In a way, that's not false. Turkey is relatively dry. It's not the juiciest meat out there. However, my response to them was, if you know how to cook it, and if you eat it at the right time with the right stuff, it tastes good. It tastes good. And once a year, it ain't bad. All right? Because there's a stage to it, right? Stage 1 should be fresh out of the oven, should be nicely cooked in the right temperature, juicy, stuffed with all the sides and stuff like that, gravies on top to keep it moist. Tastes great. Tastes great, okay? And then step 2, next day. Now it's dry. Now it's firm. Now it's time to break it down and make your turkey pot pie, make your turkey noodle soup, make your turkey sandwiches. Tastes great. Tastes really great. All right? And if you still have leftovers, turkey salad. Okay? And really, if you want it more juicier than that, fry your damn turkey. That's juicy. Fry your damn turkey. Introduce some oil in there. Tastes good. Okay? So there, if you know how to, even things that most people think is bad will be great. All right. That's read Joey's comment. I think Nick is just mad at Casa Criollo clearly right now, and Perdomo is just putting out linear, safe blends and not complexity year after year. Name one Perdomo that blew everyone's mind. I have not seen one. I cannot tell you one Perdomo recently that really blew my mind. No, I have not met a Perdomo fanboy yet. I can't tell you. I have not. But I've smoked every single Casa Criollo blend that was released recently, right? I've smoked every single Casa Criollo. I bought every single one except Ascent. Except Ascent. All right? And none of them are particularly bad. All right? None of them are particularly bad. Some are really good. Some are safer and very standard. Some are presentation driven, like Battleborn, Deep Blue are presentation driven. That kind of cigar, I don't care if it tastes like air. I'm buying it. Right? Goes back to my point. Presentation sells the cigars, okay? I don't care if you taste like air. I'm buying it. Okay? But Perdomo, I haven't seen a presentation that makes me want to buy it like air. Indoor is good. Indoor is good. In fact, I think I smoked through a whole box of Indoor already. Yeah, that box. Oh, I can't see it. There's a box over there. It's empty. I already smoked through a whole box of it. But some of them are not particularly good, and I think it was specifically made that way. For example, the Essence line is not meant to be a premium cigar. It's just meant to be a cigar. In between, give it to your friend who never smoked. So they are not crazy good. They are just very basic. So they have those. So now they rebrand themselves and came out with a lot of blend that is acceptable as a new generation. You gotta, if you ask me, can Ernie do that? Is he good enough? I'm gonna say yes. He came out with multiple brand and successful. Right? Casa Criollo is not his first brand. He had a brand. He sold the brand. He came out with the Casa EPC, and now inviting his family into that. Now it's Casa Carrillo. He know how to do it. He know how to do it. Now, ask yourself, if tomorrow Fuente decides to do a subline called, I don't know, Mini Me, all right? He just announced it tomorrow, and all of a sudden came out with 16 different facings. You don't believe that they could do that? I guarantee they can. Now you gotta say Fuente's bullshit. I don't think anybody in the industry qualifies to say Fuente is bullshit. Right? In this whole cigar industry, all right, nobody qualifies to say Fuente's bullshit. Nobody qualified to say Plasencia's bullshit. Nobody qualified to say AJ Fernandez bullshit. Prove me wrong. Oh, I also think that nobody qualified to say Davidoff's bullshit, but people will disagree with me on that one. Right? But Davidoff makes a lot of cigars. And despite of what we don't like about Gurkha, you don't get to say Gurkha is bullshit either. You just say Gurkha tastes like shit, but you can't say Gurkha is bullshit. Right? Can't say about my father. Yeah, my father is one that they literally named themselves that you cannot say that. You gotta go out there and say, yeah, my father's bullshit. Then you can go, yeah, your father's bullshit. Huh? Can you say that? Can you even say, my father's bullshit? That's shit. And you go, yeah, your father is bullshit. I know. Yeah. They have kind of sit it out that you literally cannot bitch about it. Because the moment you bitch about it, you bitch about your dad. Right? In this industry, these are the staples of brands that has heritage. Right? So I can't say that they're bullshit. Can I say I don't like it? Yes. Yes, right? I don't like Tatuajes. I don't like Gurkha's majority of them. You know, I don't like a lot of sub brands. I don't particularly like Cohiba, Red Dot. Um, I barely buy Podomo. I buy it when I have to. Great Cliff is bullshit. Okay, Great Cliff is kind of bullshit. And so is Griffin's. So is Griffin's. Griffin's one of the worst cigars I've ever purchased in my life. Okay. So yeah, I mean, the rest, they are the staple. They are the what set this industry standard. Can't say they're bullshit. You can't say they are just because you're jealous about this somebody's ability to come out with multiple different blends that are slightly different, slightly more unique, and people can tell that it is their brand. You cannot say that they can. I complain about it. I was like, how many cigars does EPC have to put out? Seriously, that's a lot of cigars to put out. But I don't think that's bullshit. I think that's kind of cool. I'll buy all of them. I'll try them all. That actually lasted 6 months of purchasing. But I don't have complaint about actually smoking them. I have complained that they keep coming out with more cigars, so I had to buy them. Come on, all in once, man, so I can make one order and call it a day. But no, they come out once in a while. That's fine. Ascent took forever. Ascent, since it was announced to now, I think it's at least 3-4 months. But now it's out. I have to buy them. I have to buy them. Right? Because I know for sure to a degree that cigar is gonna be smokable. I can't promise that it's gonna be great, but I know that every cigar came out of EPC or Casa Carrillo is at least smokable. Minus the Platinum Bash. I don't know why the Platinum Bash stuff are so bad, but everything that I smoked so far from Casa Criollo as an official release are decent to great. Maybe the essence don't fall into that. I think the essence series falls to acceptable, but none of them were like extremely bad, like the Platinum Bash thing. You know, nothing against. Yeah, I don't think that's supposed to be good anyway, but it's just thinking about it kind of grossed me a little bit, right? So yeah, speaking for myself, it's just my opinions on those things. I think when we talking about something, it's all speaking for myself, right? So in the end, I told the guy to, hey, speak for yourself on that comment thing. And he said, that's what I did. I was like, yeah, then why would you tell me to speak for myself if you're speaking for yourself? And isn't that what women do? I don't understand. I don't understand. It's these kind of people that is dangerous in my life because it makes me go drinking and eat sushi in the middle of the day. All right? Don't make me go drinking in the middle of the day. That makes me at night have to drink coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me a good, easy Saturday, like relaxing one. Yeah, I would like to take my wife out shopping, but not take my wife out drinking. That stage for me is over. Drinking and eating sushi during the day sounds like accident. No, because after that, so when I go out and drink and eat sushi during the lunchtime, I bring more for dinner. So my dinner will automatically be sushi as well. And when I do those things, I don't want to do shit. I had a good drink, I had a good food. I don't want to do shit. I don't want to go shopping. I don't want to stand there, watch my wife try on makeup and go to, Dior's and stuff. I don't. I just want to relax. I want to go home, watch some TV. So after that, in the 90-something degrees in Boston is hell. It's hell. Hella boring. Like every moment I was like, oh man, I wish I can just go home and have a cigar. Nope. The next 3 hours, you're still committed to take your wife out to do the other stuff. And then pick up my dog by 4. Get home at 5, eat dinner. Sushi again. So yeah, it might sound good, and overall the process is stale. Stale. Okay? Stale. But it is a first world problem, I guess. I would say that's a first world problem. Is it bad? No, it's not. But sometimes I really don't want that kind of stress. That pushes me to go like, I need to do something else. I think it's the curse of YouTube, is that, or social media, that once you comment something, someone has to comment something. And once somebody comments something, I must respond with something. Right? Sometimes I read other people's comment, I feel like I just say something too. But I usually do it as like my own comment kind of thing. I don't know. Like it's one of those things like you have an opinion that you must put out there. I'm not saying that I don't do that. I probably do, and sometimes I will put a comment on a certain video I see. Um, but then that's the thing. I feel like it's a curse. It's a curse. All of us cannot just watch a video and let it be. And let it be. And as the conversation go back and forth a few times, I feel bad because like you're hijacking the video. Everybody's getting like a notification that there is a new comment posted on the video. Go read it. Everybody pull their popcorn out and just watch and see if they respond. I need to keep up with the like standard rules. Once it goes back and forth 4 times, you stop no matter what. It get you like a debate. You get to state your statement, you get a rebuttal, and you get to rebuttal, and you get a finishing sentence and call it a day, kind of like that. That should be like a standard internet etiquette thing, right? I feel like that should be like that because we all common crazy amount of opinions on things, and it could be toxic to the person who's making the video. It could be like I think a lot of people that makes YouTube eventually quit because all the negative comments. But then again, if we get positive comments, we're gonna get negative comments for sure. We can't always get good ones, you know. And that comes with agree and disagree. And cigar as a industry, there is so much disagreement, even in the professional realm itself. Okay, let's say we are amateurs. All right, let's say we're amateurs, and I don't think it's wrong to say that we're like semi-professional amateur if you want to say that. But in the professional world, even the professionals don't agree with each other, right? You get people who agree with 70-70. You get a bunch of people that tell you 70-70 is a myth. And then you get another group that's outside of that says the whole humidity is myth. It doesn't exist, right? And you get people like me who says too much humidity, you just gotta give you mold. Just have to give it enough. And anything higher than 70 is probably gonna give you bad things. So nobody agrees on that. You get people think that Toro should be 6x52. And you get people says no, 6x50 is the perfect number. And then if you don't agree, now we're gonna get a really weird one where you get 6x53 and a quarter. That is a Toro. Nobody can agree at that. Nobody even agree the exact definition of premium cigar. Nobody even agree the exact definition of cigar. Okay? You can agree that the cigar is fully made out of tobacco and nothing else. You can agree that a cigar should be handmade to be premium cigar. But guess what? JC Numero said nope. Our machine made cigar is just as good as a premium cigar. It's machine made because they are still cigars. They're very proud of that, right? The machines, and 200 years old is still going, or something like that. 100 years old is still going. And people disagree on whether or not the premium cigar have to be 100% long filler. People say it's just X% of long fillers, right? It can be long filler and then less than like 5% of like mixed filler. It can be long and mixed fillers so long as the outside binder is long. And some people says if you have any short filler at all, it's not a premium cigar. Right? And then you have a cigar company says the cigar must be rested and aired out after you roll it. And then you have Padron says, nope, you don't. No, you don't. Roll it, you sell it. Right? Cigar industry like that. Right? You got a whole series of people that says cigar smoking must follow all the etiquette. When you sit down, you need to lay everything on the table, wash your hands, make sure you don't drink anything but water, toast your cigar for good 3 minutes, then light it up, purge it, smoke it. 1 puff per minute, no more than that. Taste them in thirds. Must write down your thoughts. Must be silent. On your own. Dressing suits. In a corner by yourself. Obviously, you have the other side of the people that says, oh, I just want to light it up and puff on it. Just let me light it up and puff on it. All right? I probably fail on majority of those things. I light it up and puff on it, and I finish it and I light another one and I puff on it. I will drink anything but water. I'll drink water, but majority of the time I will drink anything but water. I will drink water afterward. I will drink water when I start feeling sick, but I will drink anything but water. I don't like to smoke alone. I like to smoke and talking to people, unless I'm working on something. I don't like to dress in suit to smoke because you have to wash those suits afterward. I like to wear whatever I got in a basket of clothes and pull one out and put it on. I don't have to dress up to work, so I just grab whatever I got and on. You know, if all I have was underwear, I wear just underwear to smoke. Right? There's so many things that people disagree on this whole thing that I mean, there's no cigar standard really. I think it's made up. I think it's the allure created for the industry, which is fine. It's just the same thing as the clothing industry, right? You have Gucci, you have LV and all that stuff, but they're made out of regular material too. You know, it's not like Gucci's t-shirt made out of gold threads. Gucci's t-shirt is made out of cotton. All right, it's not like, oh, we meticulously made that t-shirt. No, a t-shirt came from a t-shirt factory and then you guys added it. But it tells you that's high fashion. It tells you high fashion. It's not like a car industry where a better car is a better car, right? If you get a Honda, $20,000, and then you get to a Porsche GT RX4, $200,000. That $200,000 actually buys you a faster car. But cigar is not like that. You can spend $100 on a cigar versus $10 cigar. Sometimes $10 cigar tastes better. It's the image. You can buy a $10 t-shirt and a Gucci at $100 t-shirt. The $10 t-shirt probably gonna last longer. So there is not much of standard and allure other than that was created to make you feel a certain way, which is fine, and I think that's great. Everybody should feel good about themselves, especially if you work so hard to afford a cigar, you should be able to smoke it and feel the way you want it, right? If you are a, let's say, blue collar, and you want to go home and smoke a cigar and feel like a $1 million boss mafia. Oh, I mean, $1 million mafia boss. Okay. Then you should. You should. You should be able to. Right? It might be a problem once your wife walks in and bitch at you. Then the mafia be like, but if you gotta sit down and then do your ritual and light it up and like background music, play the Godfather theme and light it up slowly, twiddle it a little bit, light it up some more and twiddle a little bit, light it up some more and twiddle a little bit until your wife just smack you in the head and go, "What the hell are you doing? Light it up and smoke already. We gotta go out later." And you're like, "Oh shit. Okay, I got it. Then yeah, you can. You can. Or you can be that guy that says, "Hey, I just want to hang out with a bunch of friends, light it up a cigar, lean back, smoke, drink a beer or something like that." You can too. I don't think the cigar image fits everyone. That allure, feel, that image, it's multitude of it. It's not the same. It's not like, okay, everybody who drinks champagne has a specific thing. Well, everybody who drives like a Ferrari have a specific thing. I think cigar is just whatever you want. I mean, you already spend the money; it's yours. Do it however you want it, right? But if the industry try to force that image on you, that's when it gets a problem. That's when it become a problem. It's like, why can't I smoke this normally? Why can't I just light it up and smoke it? Oh, if you light it up and you gotta get that nasty taste too quickly, you're not gonna get. No, no. You light it slow, you light it fast, you gotta taste that burn because you light it up. That's like saying that there is a specific way to burn something and not see a burn. It's 3 puff. Get over with it. 3 puff. All right. Light it up. Puff 3 times. Gone. Smoke it. All right. Yeah, you need to put that in 70-70, or else it's gonna be too dry. Then what you do if your atmosphere is 80? 80-80. Hide. All right. What if your atmosphere? What do you do when you? I don't think people would, but if you're like Antarctica or like South Pole and doing some sort of missions and stuff like that, and you want to smoke a cigar, what did you do? What did you do? Like if you if you like someone that smokes cigarettes, what do you do? I'm not too sure. I think if you have a way to do something and that makes you happy, that's fine. That's fine. Now I will correct somebody for doing it wrong if they have trouble. Okay? If you buy a cigar and you sat down near me and you start puffing like this, I'm gonna tell you, dude, that's not how you do it. You're wasting your money. Okay? I'm gonna try to say, hey, if you don't want to hear it, that's fine, but that's not how you do it, and you're not gonna taste anything. Okay? If you are someone that's talking with me and says, hey, this cigar doesn't taste like anything, and I notice that when you're smoking, you're not retrohaling, I'm gonna tell you, hey, maybe try to retrohale. You don't have to, but I'll teach you how to. Right? I'll teach you how to. If you're smoking a bundle cigar and you say this thing is the best cigar ever, I'll be like, yeah, sure, but have you tried other ones? Have you tried other cigars? Let me recommend you some. But I'm not gonna say the way you did it is wrong. A lot of people is like, oh, I like the cigar. What do you think, Tony? I'm like, well, everybody likes something different. I can't tell you that. I just my personal, I personally don't like that because I have trouble telling people that what they smoke is completely wrong. It might not be what I like, but I can tell them it's wrong. I just tell them I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm pretty sure everybody have that, right? And then I have this problem of like, a lot of people like to ask me whether or not a Cuban is real. That's like the biggest problem. Biggest problem. And when I see it, I automatically go, if you had to ask, it's not. Right? If you had to ask, that just tells me that wherever you get it from isn't the most legit. And whatever your friends get it from, you have trusted. You have believed that was okay. Right? And you looked at it, and you're like, that's how it's supposed to look like? I wonder. Hey, Tony, what do you think? All right? Which also gets me to like this thing I had to apologize before because I look at it and it looks funny. All right? Now, Cohiba had the bands changed a billion times. And when I see it and somebody says, hey, I'm the next level or smoking something better, which is great. But at the same time, looking at it, it's like, is that really the next level? That looks weird. That looks weird. Even if you bought it from the real places. And that's the problem. That's the problem. You want to be a good friend to tell your friend that something isn't. But sometimes when you say it, you regret it. Right? Because It might be just a bad one. Sometimes you say you regret it. I want to have my friends know that, if whatever they're smoking, it might not be real. Don't waste money on it. My whole point was to don't waste money. Don't waste money on it. All right. If you want to smoke a real one, good for you. But don't waste money on it. That's my whole point. I don't want people to waste money on a fake one and be happy, because you're not smoking the real thing. It will skew your perception of what a good thing is. For example, if you bought a lemon car, doesn't work well, and makes you think that the car is shit. When in reality, that car could have been so much better. Wouldn't you tell your friend, I think you got a lemon? And if it's like, hey, I hate Porsche GT4, GT RS4, 911. I hate that. And you're like, no, that car should be good. That's an expensive car. What's wrong with that? That car, I tried to drive it. It overheats. And I'm driving like 55 miles an hour. It breaks down the highway. Wouldn't you say, hey, I don't think you got a Porsche? Like something's wrong with that. You'll want to tell them. And because they got a lemon, they have bad perception of that particular car. Right? And there are a lot of Cuban that are good. There are a lot of Cuban that are mediocre. And there are a lot of Cuban that are bad. But if I see you smoking a nice Trinidad, and you should have tastes good, and you say this thing tastes like crap, I'm gonna say maybe that isn't. I don't know. A lot of time for the Cuban stuff, I should keep my mouth shut. I should, because we can only judge based on what you see, right? You really cannot tell. Like nowadays, the bands are so fake, so good, so good that you can almost not tell whether or not it's real unless you cut it open. You can tell whether or not it's real branded goods unless you cut it open. And that's pretty sad. That's pretty sad. If you got to a point where a fake good is so good, you can tell. It's like getting a Rolex from your dad. You really appreciate it. And then nobody told you it was fake. No one tell you there's a problem with that. And you brought it to Rolex with your dad to service it. And then your dad gets the news. Sorry, dude, this is not a Rolex. Can't service here. Wouldn't you rather know that it isn't real and service it without your dad ever knowing? Just like your dad said, "How you love? I love the watch, Dad. I love the watch," knowing that it's fake, but your dad give it to you, knowing that it's fake. You're like, "Oh, I love it. That's fine. It's a gift from my dad, but I know it is fake, so I'm not gonna go through any process that would tell my dad that I knew was fake." Wouldn't you rather that? I don't know. Tell me, like in people in the chat, tell me what will you do if you receive a fake watch? Would you rather know if you receive a fake watch from your dad? Would you rather know it's fake, or would you rather find out with your dad that it's fake? Put it in the comments. Let me know. I want to see how many people says I rather find out with my dad. I don't want to find out before my dad. Even for cigars, I rather figure it out it's fake and be able to tell my dad never to spend that money again, but not tell him that I know it's fake. Then smoke it and find out it's bad. Put it in the comment, guys. what would you do? I mean, obviously, for American cigars, we don't have that problem really because nobody want to fake a American cigars for any reason. We could find out together. It wouldn't make me appreciate any less. Okay, I don't think it'll make you appreciate any less. If it's a present from a dad, it's a present from a dad. However, I think that your dad would be very disappointed. He went out his way and bought you a fake. You know what I'm saying? I would rather like have him never find out, so that he can be proud that he got you a Rolex. He went out of his way, probably think that he got a good deal. Great. And I'll wear it for a good amount of time. I'll probably wear it for a long time. And whenever I go to a situation where people might find out, I just treasure it. I just don't. I don't show. I wouldn't. I wouldn't get into a point where I show people. I'll have it in my hand. I will not show people. You know what I'm saying? The thing about Rolex is that once you put it on your hands and you kind of weight it, you kind of know. You kind of know. The bracelet, you know right away it's not. Or at least if you own one, you'll know. If you ever own a Rolex and I hand you a fake one, you'll tell the moment that is fake, the moment that you end it on your hand. Okay. Now, the top tier fakes is harder. But if you ever wind your Rolex before, which most people would, and you would try to wind the fake one, you'll be able to tell. That click is not the same. But knowing that you can tell in a specific way, I just make sure that if I'm going out with the person who gave it to me and I wear it because I want to make them feel good about it, I will never let that watch leave my hand so that people can tell. And that will probably forever to be a story I tell once my dad passed away. I'm like, yeah, my dad gave me this watch. He didn't know it's fake for like 30 years. It is. I love this watch, even though it's fake. I served it a few times. But yeah, my dad never found out. Something like that. I think I will appreciate that. I'll have it as a story for a long time. For a long time. Anyway, did anybody post out what they smoked today? Today, Tiberius smoking an Ambassador. Joey posted for yesterday, so that's not that. I think Val is at a lounge drinking a brown ale. But I don't know what Val is. Val says he's gonna be late, but I don't know how late he's gonna be. It's been an hour already. Val, are you coming up? Here's another thing. We have the panel, we have people, but it does not mean the people who's interested in joining us having a conversation cannot join us. If you want to join us in a panel talking about cigars, totally fine. It might not be a regular thing, but if you want to, give me your Google Meet account. So basically a Google account email. So email me message me your Google account so I can send you an invite so you can jump on. Okay. So if you're interested, says, hey, a lot of time I want to talk about what you guys talk about. However, I'm not really good at typing. I don't really want to type. But you want to join the conversation, you can join the conversation via voice. Basically, give me a way to contact you, and now I'll give you a link for the time that we're gonna jump on. Obviously, I'll let you know ahead of time which day that we will schedule for you to jump on. But let me know ahead of time so I can bring you up. If I bought my son a Rolex and it ended up being a fake, I found out he knew and didn't tell me, I'd be pissed. You'll be pissed at your son or you'll be pissed at the Rolex? Which one? Which one? Because there's that point of view, right? It's like, okay, my dad got me a fake Rolex, but do I think of it as my dad gave me a Rolex, or do I think of it as my dad gave me a watch? Right? Do you think of it as my dad gave me a Rolex, or do I think of it as my dad gave me a Rolex watch? Because if you think of it as my dad gave me a watch, it doesn't matter what watch it is, fake, real, whatever, half broken. No, I think like sometimes, oh, that's the point of view, right? That's the point of view. I think sometimes it's just being appreciative of you got something, and a lot of time we don't want the person who gives stuff to feel bad because it's still a gift, and when you receive a gift, I guess that's the point of view, right? When you receive a gift, does that matter? All right, how about this, Tiberius? If somebody, one of your friend, hands you a cigar, hands you a Cuban, and it was fake. It's obviously fake. So obvious. Like the Cohiba doesn't even say Cohiba, it says Cobaba, right? And and he handed to you says, "Oh man, I went out of my way to get you this. I waited in line for 2 hours, and I finally got you one." Are you gotta say, "Hey, no good, man. That's fake." Well, how would you react to that? How would you take care of that situation when somebody hands you a Cobaba? Would you tell them? I said, "Yeah, I'm not gonna smoke that. That's fake." Or would you just say, "Yeah, thanks, man. I'll keep it. The next time, don't buy anymore, man." Which one's gonna be? Let me know which one. I can't even tell if Tiberius is typing. An employee of mine brought me a box of Cubans on his vacation. They were clearly fake. He didn't know. I choose not to see. See, you choose not to say anything. You see what I'm saying? You will choose not to say anything. Same thing, right? If you got a watch from your dad, you will not say anything. Had it be my dad, I would have told him though. Relationship different. Had it be to my son. Yeah, I guess family, you probably would. Would I do that if my son? Yeah, if my son wanted to buy a fake cigar, I would smack him in the head. I was like, why didn't you ask me beforehand? It's like, dad's got that many cigars. You went out to buy a cigar. What the hell is wrong with you? I know this chef a long time ago. A long time ago when I used to work in restaurants. One of the chefs is my friend. Um, and he worked in the Chinese restaurant. He went home. He saw his wife went out to a different Chinese restaurant buy scallion pancake. He was pissed. He was so pissed that he yelled at her and screamed. And it's like, what the hell is wrong with you? You got a husband that makes Chinese food, you go out to buy Chinese food. And I think that's kind of similar situation here. I'll be like, son, You got a dad had a basement full of cigars, and you go out to buy cigars. I wish I would have been happier if you bought me a root beer float. But you bought cigar, and you bought a fake cigar. And that's a funny term too, right? Fake cigar. Fake cigar is still cigar. Isn't that funny? We call it a fake cigar, but it's still cigar. But then again, fake watch is still watch. Believe it or not, there are people that can actually adjust a counterfeit watch to work better than the watch that you buy. There's actually a way to replace some parts and then adjust it so that it actually is a good watch, because Rolex lose seconds easily. Rolex will lose time. Rolex doesn't keep time well. Most automatic watches doesn't keep time well because that's not meant to be. You know, the second it's not exact. Every tick is close enough, but it's not exact. So, you know, if you're talking about now having a timepiece keeping time, timepiece is bad at keeping time. That's just the way it is. It's funny. So is quick pick fake Cuban a Cuban? It's very possible. Fake Cuban can still be Cuban. Fake Cuban can still be Cuban leftovers to make another Cuban. It's possible. Because if you make a fake Cuban out of Dominican cigars, people who can smoke cigars for a while can really tell the characteristic of a specific region. Right? I think people who smoke cigar for 4 or 5 years can tell what a Dominican tastes like. I think people who smoke 4 or 5 years can tell immediately what a Nicaraguan Esteli tastes like. Well, I'm not expecting you to be able to tell other ones, but I can tell that I think majority of people can tell what Esteli tastes like. And Val just arrived. Let's bring Val on.
Oh, yes, I am.
Welcome.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I'm
You're
late, but
missing
I'm here.
you're missing a flap being closed. I see you have open flap today.
Yes, yes, I do. I have to have a little air come in. It's a little warm outside. I may have to close it if the mosquitoes start to fly in my way. In fact, you know what? I think I will close it because it seems to be a little distracting to me now that I'm here. Hold on a minute.
There we go.
Okay, just like that. There we go. Yeah, I just got back. Was out, spent just about all. I did actually spend all day out with my domestic goddess.
Okay. Did you have a good day?
You know what? Yes, I did. I did because I had time to spend with her, my daughter, my son-in-law, and my niece and her. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say a significant other or her boyfriend. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't know. But let me tell you, this started out to be an early day. All right.
Okay.
Because we had to meet up at a certain place at a certain time, and to make sure that I'm ready on time, make sure my wife is ready on time, because we have to drive over to my daughter's house and then from there head out to where we got to be. So it's supposed to kick off at 9 a.m., which seemed like a reasonable time. But I'm up at 6 getting ready, getting stuff ready, getting my shower, changing, make sure I got enough time, get my wife up, make sure she gets enough time. And I want to hit the door at a certain time to be by my daughter's house at a designated time. And on paper, if you write it down or when you talk about it, Yeah, it's plenty of time. No problem. Yeah, that's doable. Yeah, it should be easy. Yeah. But for- something always messes it up. And I can't pinpoint what it is. You
Was
know,
that Murphy's Law?
it might be the goddamn Murphy. I mean, Murphy, me, and we must be related. Okay,
So,
we
Val,
must
did
be
you hear about a conversation earlier? I'm not sure how far you heard.
about what?
The conversations that we had.
I didn't get a chance to
Okay,
watch most.
so
I tried to, but I didn't.
Val, let me ask you a question, right? If
Yes,
you receive a watch from your dad,
yes,
a Rolex,
yes,
it turned out to be fake,
yes.
would you, one, find out before your dad did and never do anything that would disclose that the watch is fake? Or two, not find out and then one day you go with your dad to service the watch and realize that the watch is fake with your dad?
I would never tell him. I would never tell if I knew.
No, which one
Okay,
would you prefer? Like, one is to find out with your dad that was fake, or find out ahead.
I would rather find out ahead and not say anything to my dad.
There we go. Yeah,
Okay.
because that's what I would do too. If I receive a watch that's fake, I will do everything in my power to never disclose that. I
Yeah.
will service that watch ahead of time. In some other places, my dad will never find out till his grave,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I would joke
Because
about it for the rest of my life.
yeah, I would. I mean, yeah. I mean, once you know how you received it, how you received the watch from a grandparent, the uncle, your father, someone's really significant to you, and they're presenting it to you, and they believe that it is the real thing. And when they give it to you, they genuinely believe that it's real. And you accept it that way at the time because that's what you also think. But let's like you said, you take it to get it serviced or whatever, and they're telling you, hey, you know, I got some bad news for you, buddy. Guess what? What? This ain't the real thing. Okay, now I know. I'm not going to say anything. However, the big question is this: once that person is no longer with us, who you give that watch to next, are you then going to tell that person that it's not
I
real?
wouldn't give it away.
No, you wouldn't give it away, but what happens? Okay, you don't give it away.
In fact, I would let everybody know it's fake.
You would let everybody know that it's not real.
Right. Like, that's the thing. Like I say, I will joke about it for the rest of my life that my dad gave me a watch that's fake, but I love it.
I would probably make a comment about it, but I would say, but he thought it was real.
Right. But once the
Right.
person is no longer with us,
Yeah, once the
right?
person it's not
On the
yeah.
table, and like, hey, Tony, that watch looks nice. I was like, hey, let me tell you a story. So my dad bought this watch for me. He doesn't know it's fake. He didn't even know until, like, after he passed. He doesn't know. But I knew it was fake. I kept it for like 30 years. This watch actually worked nicely. But I would
Yeah,
let them know
so
it's fake.
yeah, I mean, okay. That's one aspect of it, but I would say, what if you don't tell everybody?
I think that way it makes me to have a story about my dad and how I appreciate the watch.
Yeah,
So even if I let people know, I wouldn't feel ashamed of it. I wear it. It's a watch. It's a watch. Right? Ultimately, it's a watch. Name brand aside, it's a watch.
yeah. Name brand aside, the significance behind it is that it was given to you by your dad, regardless
Right.
of.
Now, here, twist the story around. If your dad gave you a fake Cuban, what you tell him? totally different scenario now.
Totally different. What I tell them.
Because I would.
I probably would, yeah, but it would take me a while to come around to it.
I'll tell him the same day, and I'll be like, let's smoke that together just to see how bad it is. If it's from my dad. If from a friend, I'll tell them that that is not real, don't do it again. I appreciate it, but don't spend your
Well-
money on it.
Well, I mean,
Because I don't want them to keep wasting money on it.
yeah, I mean, just like the Cuban that I received from my granddaughter. She works where she works. One of her coworkers has a brother
Mhm.
that travels a lot and brought back a box of cigars, some Cuban cigars, and had them in the box, and went and visited her brother at work and opened up the box, offered her friend, well, the brother, her friend, a cigar, and he took one. Then he said to my granddaughter, "Hey, you told me that your grandfather smoked cigars. You want to take one for him?" And she was so excited. She was so happy that she goes, "Well, yeah." She took one, and she was so excited to give it to me, and because she thought it was a real Cuban. And I was excited to get it, and I believed it. And I asked her, "Well, how do you know it's real?" "Well, because he travels and he went to this country, and this is where he bought it, and it's in a box, and he opened it up, at the work site in
Mhm.
front of his brother, and that was one of the pictures I sent to you, and you told me, 'Hey, Val, guess what?'" I said, "Oh,
I mean,
okay."
there is no pretty way to do it. Somebody's gonna feel
No,
bad about it one way or another.
no,
But it's such a small money. Well, not small money, but such a easily do it again thing. I feel like
yeah,
you had to tell them so they don't do it again.
and
Watch is a lot harder. Somebody buy a watch, chances are they're not gonna buy you another one. So you don't have to
and
worry about that. But
yeah,
cigar, they would.
and with that part, I did tell her, and I sat down with her, and I told her, "Explain to me again about the cigar and about the box, and what did the box look like?" And she described the box like it was the real thing, and I asked her about the 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 stamp on it, or the tag on it, and that kind of stuff. And did she notice that? Did she, and she really didn't pay too much attention on it, and I said, "Well, did you take pictures of it? Because I remember you asked me, was there pictures taken of the box? Because then we have another item to examine, to look at, to see." And she did not take pictures of the box, but ultimately it ended up not being real, but it looked good. I'm gonna tell you that much. It looked good. And I
It
did
look good
explain
until you have a comparison,
huh?
right? So Tiberi asks, how about this? If you don't tell the day the Rolly he bought was fake, then years later, the same place gave him a steal on another one. He bought one for himself, not one. He said, had you told him he wouldn't throw away his money and the people he
Yeah.
wouldn't take him for a sucker. Okay, here's the thing. If he bought it for himself and it turned out to be a fake and he found out, he might feel bad, but he wouldn't feel bad as a gift. You will feel bad about buying a fake for yourself, but it's not the same way as when you give to someone else. So if my dad come and ask me about, say, "Hey, mine was fake. What about yours?" I'll be like, "No, mine's fine. I serviced it the other day." So just don't buy from the guy again. Wear it as a watch.
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of feel. When you give something to someone, that feeling is way more, and you know that for yourself, I'm pretty sure. When you give somebody something, that feeling is way more than when you buy something for yourself. And when you realize that your gift wasn't genuine, it feels worse than when you bought something for yourself, it wasn't genuine. Well, no, he's going to be pissed if I tell him mine was fake too. But I'm going to tell him mine was fine. I'm going to tell him mine is fine. I serviced it. And he was like, yo, really? I was like, yeah, maybe he just started selling fake. Maybe that guy doesn't even know. Just don't spend money with the guy again. It's like maybe the guy bought a fake. He doesn't even know.
I think I'm gonna have to turn my fan on me here, guys.
That's just the dick hole, the bigger. Yes, but it will be a one-time thing and done. It will be one-time thing and done. In fact, I'm gonna tell you, if my dad says no, let's go check it, I'll be like, okay, Dad, let's go check it. Some other time, next time I service, I'll bring you, and I will literally go buy a new one. I will do everything in my power so that my dad will never find out. I'll do everything in my power. But that's me. That's me. I would never try to tarnish a memory that my dad had for me. If that makes sense. I would never try to tarnish a memory that my dad did it for me. Now, if my dad did it to himself, that's him. But if he did a memory for me, I'd do everything to protect it. If I had a dad like that, it would mean I would respect him too much to lie to him like that. Yeah. But it's something my dad gave to me, I'm not gonna tarnish it. Especially something like a watch. It has significant meaning when you give it to somebody. When you give somebody a watch, significant meaning. It's passing down time, passing down history. I do not want to do that. And I would, like I say, I would joke about it for the rest of my life because that's a memory. It has a significant meaning. But I'm not gonna go tarnish it in front of him because I would think that is disrespectful. Obviously, that is a different point of view, right? I never had my parents buy me a watch. Never. In fact, it's the opposite. I bought my family member watches. My wife does have one watch from my mother-in-law, and we know that's real. We bought it together, so we were in the authorized dealer ourselves to get that. So it's a different story. But I would not. I will do everything in my power, even if I had to buy one to just hide it and never wear it. I will go buy one just to make sure that my father's story checks out. And I still wear the one my father gave me, and I'll pass that one, the real one, down to my kids if I had a kid. Like, it's similar to Val's story where Val get a ring and then got remake another ring and then he passed down the ring, kind of different story. But the one that's passed down has more meaning than the one he made for himself.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like that. It's hard to find the right answer for it. I'm just saying, I'm speaking for myself. That's what I would do. But like I say, if my dad bought a fake cigar, I'm gonna tell him straight up. I was like, why didn't you ask me? Since you didn't ask me, both of us are gonna suffer now. Let's go. Light it up. Let's suffer together. And then afterward, I'll show you how the real one tastes like. Make it into a memory. I mean, for me, it'll be a memory thing. But if my dad went out his way, we'll talk about $3,000 still. A fake one, still a few $1,000s. From a few $100s to a few $1,000s. To fake one that's that obviously not obvious enough, it's thousands of dollars though. Oh, the fake one now has a warranty card with it. Box, warranty card, outside box, inside thing, stickers, everything. They got everything.
They have
$1,000 buys
they
you
got the
everything.
system down.
Yeah, with the bag and everything, dude. There's everything on it. Like they even have that invisible engraving nowadays with a fake serial number. You take off the link, there is a serial number in there.
Hmm.
The only way to tell is if you compare to a real one. If you ever had a real one, you can tell. If you never had a real one, you can't tell. Right? So I wouldn't question it. I wouldn't make him worry. I want him to feel happy that he actually got me a watch. Out of his way. Right? And I'll treasure it. I wouldn't wear it all that much, but I know I'll have it. I'll treasure it. And like I say, if that comes to a time where I have to cover up, I'll cover up. I'll bury that dead body so nobody find it. Right? I know I would. My dad has purchased me a Prada shirt before that are fake. And I wear that shirt until it's gone. Like that shirt is beat up. I wear that shirt until that shirt is totally beat up. I wear that so often. I go out, I wear it. So, and I don't think he cared whether or not it's real. I don't care whether or not it's real. I treat it as my dad bought me a shirt. I'm not even gonna question the authenticity because the shirt it doesn't cost that much. If it costs that much, I'll do everything to protect it. But that's just me. Everybody is different. There are some people that prefer never to tell their friend that they receive a fake cigar. They are. And the problem with that is the person will continue to spend that money on that cigar and continues to bring it back. That's a problem. Like I said, a watch kind of different, especially if they go out of my way. In fact, you're saying that there's a possibility that he's gonna go and buy another Rolex. I can tell you that if my dad buys me a Rolex, I'm gonna buy him a Rolex, just so he never had to worry about it. But then again, not everybody can do that, right? But for me, that's how I would take care of it. If I have the thought, my father says, you know what, I'm gonna get one myself. I said, no, Dad, you bought me one. Let me save up money and buy you one too.
Yeah.
So I never had to worry about that. But then again, everybody is different. Everybody's different. So we treat it differently. Like I said, cigar is kind of different thing. It's consumable, and it might not be that healthy to consume a fake cigar anyway, right? But a watch is a watch. If my dad buy me a car that's shitty that breaks down every other day, I try to fix it. What if your dad is always breaking your balls about being smart with your money, tell you to think before you buy, then he buys a fake? Would you tell him to prove that we all make mistake? I wouldn't do that for what he give me. I will pick on his spending crazy money on other things. That's what I would do. Like, like for the watch, I'll probably say, hey, Dad, this is an expensive thing. Don't buy me that again. Don't buy me that again. Save that money for something else. Buy a new car. Something like that. But I'm not gonna try to correct my father's wisdom in a way because everybody have their own thing. Small stuff I would. Like if my dad went to buy a frozen dessert instead of ice cream, I'll be like, Dad, why do you buy frozen dessert? Go buy ice cream. Small minor stuff that's not gonna make him feel bad about it. I would. Because in the end, that's still my dad. I give him a certain level of respect. Right? For example, recently I told you guys I was getting a ladder and my father-in-law doesn't know how to use a ladder. I'll be like, come on, this is not correct. Check this. The image right here that tells you how to use a ladder. I'll tell him that. What if he could have gotten his money back and had you told him? You can never get your money back from street vendors that sold you fakes. You can never get your money back. Right? You can never get your money back. Plus, here's the thing, right? You get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. You pay $1,000 for a fake Rolex, it's $1,000 Rolex. What if it's a friend of his? I will go bitch at that friend myself. I will bitch at that friend myself. And I will possibly tell the friend to say, go confess to my dad that you'll buy the watch back. And if my dad come ask me for that watch, I'll be like, yeah, you can take it back, and we can, we can get another one other time. We can go get it together. That's fine. There's always alternative way to resolve a problem. But if that was his friend, I will go kick his friend's ass. I'm not gonna go ruin a relationship between you and my dad, but you need to go tell my dad that you made a mistake. Right? That's not what a friend needs to do. That's not a friend do. That friend will not cheat another friend's money. Right? You want to break a friendship with my dad over a few $1,000s? So, if my dad bought a Rolex for $1,000 thinking it was real, I slap him.
Yeah, maybe your dad thought he got a great deal.
I wouldn't
And you
say
know what they
like.
say? You know they say if it's too good to be true, it probably isn't.
Let me tell you this. I don't know what everybody's dad's affordability is. I know my dad isn't wealthy. I know if he's got out of his way to buy me something, is with the is a little bit above what he can afford, if he does. But if your dad is like Elon Musk and he goes up by a $1,000 watch thinking that's real, yeah, you should slap him. But if you know your dad tried his best and that's all he can afford and that's what he get, I wouldn't blame him for it. I wouldn't blame him for it. Does that make sense? Like if he was trying his best and that's what he can afford, I wouldn't blame him for it. But then again, I said, if your dad's wealthy enough to know that should be having a fake and $1,000 wouldn't make sense, yeah, you should slap him. But I know my dad wasn't, and I guess that's a situational thing. My dad isn't wealthy, so I wouldn't. So that's the difference. Is whether or not, like, if he feel like $1,000, I can finally afford one for my son, then that's a different story. $1,000 is a lot, right? But if your dad makes like $3 million a year and he bought $1,000 Rolex, yeah, you should be like, dude, what you think, right? So, and that's the difference. The way I'm saying this story is because I know I could do everything in my power to protect that story because I know, because in my point of view, in my story, in my family tree, I know my dad could not afford it. And if he did, that's everything that he can do. Right? That's everything that he can do. And I wouldn't try to tarnish it. That's just me, though, right? But like I said, that goes to affordability. Affordability. Right? Like you wouldn't blame your dad for giving you a car that is like a complete limit, would you?
That is a complete lemon.
Okay, let's say your dad is a retired blue collar person that
Yeah.
gets a retirement payment of maybe $2,000 a month.
Okay.
Okay, and he went out and buy a car for you for $3,000. That's more than what he can afford. That car sucked. Right? It breaks down every other day. Are you gonna go complain to him? Like, Dad, you're stupid. Why you buy me this piece of shit?
No, well, uh,
It will be like,
I'm
hey, Dad, my car has a problem. Like, can we fix it? Kind of thing. That will be one thing. But if you say, hey, Dad, you're spending stupid money to buy this car for me. I don't like it. It breaks down every other day. You wouldn't. Right? It's a tough spot. You got to kind of decide what you're going to do.
yeah, you have to decide what you're gonna do and how you're gonna say it. Yeah.
But would you say it? It's like, hey, Dad, you bought me a piece of shit. What, Dad? This car, it's old, so it's got some problems.
Yeah, I probably was. So, Dad, you bought this car. It's a waste. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of money. How much you pay for it? Dad, you shouldn't have bought it. You shouldn't have bought it. You lost your money on it because every month I have to do something to it. Every month it's in the shop. It's costing me more now to get it fixed than what you paid for it. Yeah. And then you have to decide at what point is you going to say to yourself, enough's enough. I'm not putting any more money in this car.
And I think that's a bad example too. Like, now that I think about it, because car is a replaceable thing. You're gonna replace your car, but how
Yeah.
often do you replace your watch? How often do you replace your watch? In fact, if my
You
dad give me a
don't.
watch that doesn't work, I'll still keep it.
You don't. Yeah, you don't replace it. You don't replace it. Yeah.
I'll keep asking for rights and let the topic come
So
out on its own. No,
let
I'll
me.
be just like, hey, Dad, my car has some problem. Why don't you help me fix up? Let's fix up this car.
So
I will try to my time with my dad wasn't like everybody else. I'm like single parent and then no parent and then kind of reconnect with my parent kind of thing. So memory with my dad would have been very treasured. So if I get something that needs time to work on, I'll probably spend the time with my dad. Use that as an excuse to spend time with my dad. I'll be like, hey, Dad, I need a new alternator. I don't really want to get it to fixed, but I know how to do it. Help me out. I probably will do that. And maybe one day enough of that, I was like, son, there's a lot of fix. Let's get another car. I'll be like, yeah, okay. Trade this in. Let's get another car. But I wouldn't be like, Dad, you're retarded. Why you buy me this car? Right? Because I think when your parent buys you something, it's out of kindness of their heart. They love you. That's why they do it. They didn't have to. So for me, that is something of scarce for my life. Right? It's like my mom sometimes send me some dumb stuff, but I'll never tell her it's dumb stuff. Right? My mom once upon a time sent me a tiny Buddha boy figure. All right, and she thought it was cute. My wife think that thing's creepy as hell.
Yeah.
I hide it, and that's it. I never told my mom that didn't like it. But if it's the same level family, different story. For example, my brother's ex-wife bought me a butterfly. What's that thing called? Taxidermy kind of thing, like just like a live butterfly stapled. Dead butterfly stapled down as an image. My wife hated that shit. And I told my brother, I was like, dude, why do you allow your wife buy me this thing? Take it back. I did. And
So
then he didn't want to let his wife know or ex-wife know, so he just took it and tossed it out. Obviously, he told me that after. I'm like, hey, if you told me that he's gotta toss it out, I will have to toss it out. So different people, different thing. But yeah, for if it's a dad or mom, give me something, I will never complain about it. I'll never complain about it. In fact, I bought my mother-in-law a car where she complained about it every week. And it's a brand new car. It's a brand new Mercedes. And she says she's stressful driving that car.
she afraid to get it scratched?
She's afraid to get it scratched. She drives to work. Everybody asks her at work about that car. She have stress driving that car. So we
Yeah.
bought her another car. I was like, okay, so tell me what level do you want to be?
Yeah. What car do you want? What car
Yeah.
do you want?
She's like, just give me a Honda. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Take that car, trading for a Honda.
Yeah. I could see that where she has such a nice car that she's afraid to take it out to drive it and park it and come back. There's a dent, there's a scratch, you know,
It was
and knowing that she's careful with driving and parking. I know I didn't do it. I didn't make that cause that to happen, but somebody did it.
we
And
tried.
then,
You know, like okay, how did that work? Okay, so at first she was driving a Nissan Altima. It's so old, it's beat up, even have a swirl on one side because she kind of got into a semi collision right next to a truck. She tried to fight a space against a truck. You know, those truck has a wheel with a really long bolt that sticks out. And that
yeah.
decided to draw against her door. And I was like, you know what? Just get on the car. Donate that shit. So donate it. At the time, I bought a BMW, so we bought one for her too. She drove that. She's like, sports car's not my thing. It's so loud. And blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, let's get a car that's not as loud.
Okay, wait a minute. First off, this is for your mom?
This is for my mother-in-law.
Oh, your mother-in-law. Okay, now I don't want to know. I mean, look at your father-in-law. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm approaching this the wrong way. Okay. Maybe I'm sexist about this, but your father-in-law, I could see your father-in-law driving a sports car.
My father-in-law likes to drive SUVs, which
Well,
we
I'm
bought
just
him an
saying.
SUV.
I cannot see your mother-in-law wanting to drive a sports car.
Well, she said, you know, the mirror folds and all that is really cool, so we bought her one. Cause I had one, and she said it was cool. So what? Your car is a junk. Let's donate that, like 1-800 cars for kids. We donate to that.
Yeah.
And then I bought her a car. She say that's not suitable for her. She didn't say that give her pressure, stress. She just said it's not suitable for her. That's when we
Yeah.
go get a Mercedes, which is quiet, nice. It doesn't, you know. And that's and then months. That's after many months of her telling us that it's stressful to drive this car.
Okay.
That's when we're like, you know what? What do you want? Like, you know, we got plenty of other cars. Before we buy another car, we let her drove our mini SUV with a crossover, some Mitsubishi Sportsback. So she drove that, and she say that car is too big for her to drive.
Oh. And I thought she would like it because she's going to sit a little higher up.
She's not really good at driving.
Ah.
She cannot even drive highway. She can't drive highway.
She doesn't. Oh. She
only
okay.
drive local roads. She does not drive
Local.
highways.
Okay.
So like, you know what? Let's get a comfortable car. You know, she wanted a comfortable car. I was like, okay, let's silver. Mercedes. Very downtown silver cars everywhere, right? Not sports color, silver color. Yeah, and just buy her a car. And then she starts to say, oh, it's okay, fine. Then that's when we, you know, let's go get a Honda.
And she felt more comfortable in a Honda.
And then afterwards, she said, my father-in-law was complaining that he's driving an old car where she's driving a new car.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll change his car too. But at the time, I was swapping car every year. I was buying one car or two cars every year. So I didn't mind that. I was like, cars expendable. You drive, you don't like it, swap it to another one. Now I'm much more downtone. I don't buy a lot of car anymore because number one, there's a lot of car I don't like rather than I like. Number two is I don't drive that much.
Okay.
Right? Before I would drive a little bit more, but now I don't drive that much. I don't even drive over to their house anymore.
All right.
So when it comes to parent, I guess there is everybody's different and the relationship with the parents different. I got pretty good relationship with my mother-in-law because like my parents not here. So, I baby it. But that's the thing. I will tell my father-in-law when he did something stupid. But my father-in-law will not try to spend crazy money on anything. So I didn't have that problem. Like I would never have to worry about my father-in-law go out and buy a Rolex and says, "Hey, daughter, here's a Rolex." That's not gonna happen. And I don't have to worry about my mother-in-law because she's retired, so she won't spend that kind of money either.
Mm-hmm.
So that's easier, I guess, in a way that I no longer have to deal with that problem.
So, Pete, I just want to. I missed a little bit out in the beginning. You were talking about cigar presentation.
So that one I was talking about how so one episode from Cigars Daily, they talked about cigar presentation, bands and stuff like that. And I comment on it and then I was like, I think cigar is all about presentation. A good presentation will sell good cigar, a good presentation will be able to sell bad cigar too. Like for example, last time I talked about if Seahawk was coming out with a cigar, that cigar tastes like trash, you will still buy it.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah, the presentation is going to entice you to get it, and then once you get it, then you determine whether it's a good cigar or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing, on the opposite spectrum, if the cigar looks like Freddy Krueger, miscolor, looks like it's got AIDS or something like that, on the shelf, you probably will not pick it up to try whether or not that's a good cigar. Until somebody who actually tried it and say that's a good cigar, will try it.
Okay, so let me transition this over to something that I heard. Actually, I just heard it today. Accidentally, yeah, I want to say, yeah, accidentally came across it on YouTube because I sure in the heck wasn't looking for it, but there it was. Now, you know how some cigar boxes have that sticker on it, right? Cigarette smoking is bad for your health or something like that.
Warning label?
Yeah, warning label.
Sure.
So what I just found out now, apparently in Europe, and I think it's starting in the UK, that they want to take away.
They want plain packaging. They got
plain packaging. Plain packaging on the boxes, on the cigars, on displays.
Mm-hmm.
And insofar as that, they will put a plain band over the
Same
brand
thing as
band.
Canada. Same thing as Canada. So I'm not too
Is that
shocked.
is that what Canada? I'm not familiar with what Canada does. I know
That's what
Canada's
Canada's
got the
doing.
big.
It's a really ugly puke green color band
Hey,
over.
wait a minute, time out. It's not an ugly puke green. Say it's not a desirable green.
It's not a desired green.
Yes, better.
It's meant to deter people. Color.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
because Canada doing that, and Canada is part of Commonwealth, I'm not surprised UK is doing that.
Yeah. Ah. Okay. Okay. I mean, even insofar as in your cigar shops and lounges, they don't even want to have the boxes. They want them in just plain boxes.
So what they're
Maybe,
doing now is
yeah,
have the box as is, and that green paper box over it, and inside when you open it up, is the band are green over the band, so it's covered up.
it's covered up. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think that's a problem.
You don't think that's a problem?
No, because number one is the UK. I don't care.
Well, yeah, you don't care about look at things have a tendency to
Right.
branch out.
But over here, the cigar company here can fight it. Over there, they already is doing it, and
They're
majority
trying
of
to
the cigar
fight.
they sold is Cubans.
Okay, yeah, I would say yes. At one time, a big majority of the cigars they sold were Cuban, but I want to say over the last that I can think of 2 years, the so-called quote unquote new world cigars have definitely impacted Europe.
It did, but it's not the scale of here.
Not yet.
Not
Not
ever.
yet.
Not ever. I
I
can
mean,
tell you that not ever. Because the burden of putting those cigars over there is impossible. For the market over there, compete against Cuban cigars, it would never do it.
If Cubans are so limited,
Exactly. And
there
and
has
people
to be
buy the
there has to be an alternative that's going to compete against that, and that's the new world cigars. When
you
you
gotta
have look at
know.
when you have a cigar shop, a tobacco shop, where at one time all the shelves were Cuban, and then as time goes by, the Cuban supply availability has decreased. So now all of a sudden you're going from a full shop to a 2/3 shop to a 1/2 shop to a 1/4 shop. Now I want to say maybe 1/3 of the cigars are Cubans and everything else is now being
It
replaced by
has to
the
do
New
with
World cigars.
affordability and the burden of doing that. So there's only few companies, I think 2 or 3 companies out there distributing cigars from the US to other countries. Okay? And that increased the price of those cigars significantly because they get to set the price in between. All right. And then you have the taxation and all that stuff in the country per cigar for importing to the cigar. So the cigar itself is relatively expensive compared to Cuban. Very close already. All right.
Very close.
Very close. So if you are from other country where Cuban cigar reigns supreme, it's the
Right.
golden rule of cigar. Would you not buy Cubans just for a few dollars more?
Yeah. I mean, yes. Yeah. I mean, I get that.
Mm. But
but
hold on. Knowing that, as a shop, would you like to carry a bunch of other things on top of that? On top of the things that you know for sure there is a staple amount of? Or you
well,
gotta go
yeah.
and try to, or what you think they gotta go try to talk to every single boutique brand, see if they want to distribute outside the country when they don't have enough here already.
I think that I think the timing for the New World cigars to hit over there is now.
It's
Because
now, yes, there is New World cigar, but you gotta know because the way boutique cigar is, they don't produce like heritage.
yes, okay, yeah. So that's gonna be the point there. Yeah. And
All right, and then you take that to
you
how
know,
many percent of people in UK smokes
well, that's
with
the
the
other because
rules over there.
there's other products, right? There's big time pipe tobacco smokers in the UK.
You're talking about a different story.
Yes, but
You're talking about something completely different now. So, would they just keep it the way it is, introduce those kind of cigars over there, and keep it that way? Or should they risk it and say, we got to get one of each facings out there and move all these things over there and hopefully it'll take over Cubans? No, it's not going to happen.
I I I I think if your shelf space is only 1/3 of Cubans and the rest is going to be the New World stuff, it is taking over.
Just because you have more options does
Yes.
not mean you sell better. Because the price are just so ridiculous, you much rather buy Cubans.
I think the Cuban is still going to be much higher than the New World. Much higher.
It's so close. I told you, when I'm in Taiwan, I heard a Fuentes. A Fuentes is like $80.
Okay. Let's go to Europe. Let's go to Europe. Let's
Right?
do it.
So you gotta do all that importing. You gotta expect that people over here can produce enough cigars so you can export it over there. And you gotta expect that the 1 or 2% cigar smokers is gotta buy into it. When they already have those heritage, Davidoff sells Dominican cigars, even in UK.
Yes. Because because of the strong relationship.
No, it's because they own shop. They can do whatever they want.
Well, yeah, and this very strong tie-in relationship with the Cuban
But people go Davidoff
market.
people go to Davidoff buy Cubans.
Yes. Yes.
Even though Davidoff themselves have no Cubans. It's just costs and regulation and things. It's not gonna be worth it. So now, once they introduce that, it makes it even harder. In order to sell your stuff in there, you gotta cover it up. So how much you think a cigar shop can sustain and cover that kind of inventory? It's not gonna work out. This is why it doesn't bother me, because it already happened in Canada, and people in Canada doesn't stop buying cigars. Well, I hate to tell you, even over here, even if they did that, you will still not stop buying cigars.
You will not stop buying cigars, but you will decrease the amount that you buy,
No,
and
I
you will
won't.
be more selective in the cigars that you
No,
get.
you wouldn't.
You don't think so?
You bring it home, first thing you take off all the green band. You rip off that piece of paper box on the outside. You rip off all the bands. Beautiful. No stickers on it.
Yeah.
Ain't gotta stop anything. In fact, you will still know how the cigar looks like in a PCA. Because the PCA is a trade show. They don't have to cover it up. It ain't gotta stop anybody. It's to deter people, new smokers, from buying them. It's not gonna deter anybody who's been doing it for years.
Well, I don't know. I'm just thinking that if that's the case, then why me as a cigar brand, if I'm going to be forced into covering my band up with a plain generic red and white, black and blue, green and gold, purple and orange, band over my stuff, uh, why am I going to make a really nice looking band?
Because you sold to other places that would take those bands. Well, let's say this, all right? Let's say you're a Dominican cigar maker. You sell to the world. Okay? All of a sudden, UK says you can no longer use Dominican tobacco as a primary source of your tobacco, which means you need to have other stuff in your blend.
Yes.
Would you no longer sell Puros? Or did you just say, okay, I'll make this just for UK?
Well, conceivably do both, but
Right? Because you still sell to the rest of the world.
yes, I still sell
One
it to the
country
rest of the
give you
world.
shit. So you say, from now on, this thing goes to this country, will just be like this. But everything else stays the same. Right? Like, for example, in China, because they have regulation on how big your engine could be and, all those regulations for cars. Over here, we have the same car with a bigger engine. Over there, the small car with the engine made in China. Same car. But they are lower powered in China. Just for China. They're not going to stop making what they make. But to solve one country's problem, you just make that one country different. You're not going to stop the rest of them. So,
yeah, you're not gonna. Right. Okay.
if only UKs have that problem and the rest of the world don't, well, let me know when UK orders. Their stuff's right there. Everything they need, box to the left. That's it. Everybody else is inventory. It won't bother me until they say you cannot just do a cover band. You had to use only band. Only band. And now there's a problem, right? And they have a generation ban. I think Spain just came out with a rule where you cannot smoke in a private place anymore. That's what you guys vote for in your country. I can't say anything about it. That's what your country decided. That's the president or the politician you vote for, and that's what they decide. So be it. My wife asked me if, maybe eventually we'll move to California. I said, hell no. Hell no. She's like, why? There's too many regulations that I don't want to comply to. And what does the rest of the state deal with the California? California had one set rule, and only the thing that goes to California is affected. The rest of the stuff are not. That's how it is. All right, so guys, 11:18. I think we have enough conversation over here. And don't forget, tomorrow at 3 p.m. we do have a smoke. 3 p.m. right, Eastern time. We have a smoke together. So join us to smoke together. That will be our last one for a little bit. I had to change the time because I started to have things to do on Sundays. So join us on that one if you can. If not, that's fine. We'll give you a different time once I figure it out. And for the rest of the night, we're gonna go on Discord. So I'll see you guys Discord if you guys want to join us. If you gotta go to public Discord, make sure to join the voice channel. So once we see you there, we'll jump on that one. If not, we'll be in the private one. Okay. So that will be it for tonight. Have a good night. We're jumping over Discord.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining. Put some smoke in the shadows.